All James ever wanted his whole life was to be left alone. Every day and night he would lie there in his bed, enjoying his small bubble of happiness. Sure, James did have friends here and there since he was forced to interact with them at school. But once that beautiful bell sounded, he returned to his peaceful little world with no distractions. One day, the bell sounded at the school, and a sly grin cracked along James's face. Spring break had arrived. No school for a few weeks and nothing to annoy him from his serene seclusion. However, when James was leaving school, a few of his classmates asked him if he'd like to join them. Normally, James would have brushed off this inquiry as he does with any other, but something compelled James to ask to do what? The other children surrounded James and told him of the abandoned house a few blocks away that was supposedly haunted. James, of course, had heard this rumor from random eavesdropping, but never acted upon this information. The other kids explained the story behind the house as they made their way there. Apparently, an entire family was burned alive by a disgruntled relative, and whoever enters is never seen from again, so on and so forth. Of course, this was utterly preposterous to James. He was rather intelligent for his age and knew that people don't just disappear. The other children stepped away from James, looking upon him expectantly. Then James got the brilliant idea. He would go in through the front door, out the back, and head on home. To tell the truth, the only reason he walked with them this far was because the abandoned house was near his own. James took a few steps up the path to the blackened front door before turning to the others. "You coming?" he asked, as the other children looked down at their feet. "Suit yourself," he said as he pushed open the large front door. The smell of burnt wood and smoke was instantly apparent as he made his way inside. As he walked further into what was once the living room, he heard the door behind him close. This startled him, but he knew without a doubt that the door was heavy enough to close on its own. After a few more steps, passing the living room and into the kitchen, a new smell arose from deep within the foundation of the house. This new odor smelled like cooked meat, a mix of fire and flesh. James was officially done with this house and made his way towards the back door. Just as he was about to touch the handle, he heard something. The floor in the living room behind him creaked. Frozen, James didn't want to turn around. He stayed absolutely still, holding his breath. His hand inched closer to the knob of the back door. Looking through the window on the door, he could see his house just a few yards away. That's when he noticed in the reflection of the glass, a man standing behind him. He was covered in burnt skin, charred from head to toe. James screamed loudly, opening the door, but the rotted floor beneath him gave way, and he fell into the bowels of the house, the light of the day quickly fading. With only minor cuts and bruises, he quickly searched for a way out. Seeing a warped staircase on the other side of the basement, James dashed as fast as he could to get to the door. Shock was the only expression on the boy's face, as he soon discovered the door was locked. Kicking and screaming, he was soon halted by a new noise. A shuffling sound, coming from the dark of the basement, caused James to slowly turn around. All James ever wanted his whole life was to be left alone. But the man at the bottom of the stairs refused to leave.